All right, strap in everyone, because we are diving headfirst into a story that has the entire college football world absolutely buzzing.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
talking about the possibility.
The possibility.
Bill Belichick,
Bill Belichick.
the legendary coach of the New England Patriots,
Mm-hmm.
potentially taking the helm at UNC.
Whoa!
You heard that right.
You heard that right.
The 8-time Super Bowl champ
Big time.
might be trading in that hoodie
That who?
for some Carolina blue.
Carolina Blue. Yeah.
Now, what's really fascinating about this isn't just some rumor
Right.
swirling around message boards.
Right.
We have some pretty concrete developments to unpack here.
Yeah. We've got some stuff to dig into.
The UNC Tar Heels official X account, formerly Twitter, of course,
Right.
actually announced Belichick as their new head coach.
Wow.
Then they quickly deleted the post.
Oh, interesting.
Now, multiple sources are reporting
Right.
that the UNC Board of Trustees is meeting
Oh,
today
need today.
to potentially approve Belichick's contract.
So there's definitely something going on.
So there's definitely some fire behind this smoke.
Yeah.
And the sources are really painting a fascinating picture.
Okay.
They're saying that this potential contract is unlike anything we've ever seen before.
Right.
Exceptionally lengthy and absolutely packed with demands.
Well, that sounds about right, you know.
Classic Belichick.
Classic Belichick, yeah.
Always been known for that meticulous approach.
Right.
And that desire for just complete control over his program.
Yep.
But it really begs the question,
Yeah.
what could possibly motivate a coach
Sure.
who has already achieved the pinnacle of success in the NFL
Yeah.
to make this kind of leap?
Hmm.
That's what we're here to figure out.
That's the big question.
And trust me, the online chatter is exploding with theories.
I bet.
Fans on Reddit are going wild.
As they do.
Some are ecstatic.
Yeah.
Picturing Belichick turning UNC into a national powerhouse,
Right.
while others are skeptical, wondering if his famously demanding style will translate to the college game.
Interesting.
So there's a lot to unpack here.
There is.
So let's start by taking a closer look at what these sources are saying about Belichick's potential motivations.
Okay.
One recurring theme is that he might be seeking a new challenge.
Makes sense.
I mean, his success with the Patriots, particularly during the Tom Brady era, was unparalleled.
Of course, of course.
But things haven't been quite the same since Brady's departure.
Right, right.
So he's a builder.
Yeah.
He's a strategist.
The strategist.
Maybe he's looking for a chance to create a new legacy, to mold a program in his image.
Yeah, I can see that.
And college football presents a really unique opportunity for that.
It does, it does.
With the evolving landscape of NIL deals and the transfer portal,
Oh, yeah.
it's a completely different ballgame than the NFL.
Absolutely.
Now, for those of you who aren't as familiar with these recent changes in college football,
Right.
NIL deals allow student athletes to profit from their name, image, and likeness through endorsements and other ventures.
Yeah.
So it's a huge shift.
It is a huge shift.
And it's definitely something Belichick would need to navigate if he takes this job.
For sure.
And then there's the transfer portal,
Right.
which has basically created this free agency-like system where players can transfer between schools more easily than ever before.
Mm-hmm.
This constant roster turnover just adds another layer of complexity to coaching in college football.
No doubt about it.
I mean, it's a whole new world compared to the NFL, where rosters are relatively stable
Right.
and player acquisition is largely determined by the draft.
Exactly.
So for a coach like Belichick, who's used to having a high level of control and stability,
Yeah.
this would be a significant
I think
adjustment.
a adjustment for sure.
And it would definitely make things interesting for UNC.
Oh, yeah.
Let's be honest, they haven't been a dominant force in college football for quite some time.
True.
Consistently decent program,
Yeah.
making bowl games regularly,
Right.
but not really contending for national championships.
Yeah. Not quite at that level.
But with Belichick at the helm,
Okay.
and with the rumors of his massive demands
Mm-hmm.
for resources and organizational structure,
Okay.
this could be a complete game changer for the Tar Heels.
It could be. It could be.
So what exactly are these demands we're hearing about?
Yeah.
What kind of changes might Belichick be pushing for if he does take over at UNC? Well, one of the sources mentions that Belichick is seeking unprecedented control over the program's budget and infrastructure.
Oh.
This includes things like upgraded facilities,
Uh-huh.
a larger coaching staff,
Right.
greater influence over recruiting and player development.
Wow.
So that's a pretty hefty list.
It is.
And it would definitely signal a major shift in how UNC operates.
For sure.
It's clear that Belichick wouldn't be content with simply coaching the team.
Right.
He'd want to reshape the entire program from the ground up.
He's a builder, like you said.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's something UNC would need to carefully consider. Are they willing to give Belichick the autonomy and resources he's demanding? Is it worth potentially disrupting the existing power dynamics within the athletic department?
Those are the big questions.
These are big questions.
Yeah.
And they're likely at the heart of the discussions happening today with the Board of Trustees.
I would imagine so.
It's clear that this is a high-stakes decision for both Belichick and UNC.
High stakes indeed.
And for you, the listener. This situation presents a fascinating case study in the evolving landscape of college football.
It really does.
We're seeing the lines between the pro and college game blur more and more as high-profile coaches like Belichick consider making the jump.
Right.
And the impact of NIL deals and the transfer portal is undeniable.
No doubt.
It's a wild time to be a college football fan.
It is.
That's for sure.
It is.
But before we get too carried away with the potential implications,
Okay.
let's ground ourselves in the facts and analyze what these sources are telling us about the potential deal between Belichick and UNC.
Okay.
One source,
Oh, yeah?
a prominent sports journalist with a track record of breaking major coaching news,
Right.
suggests that Belichick's contract could be upwards of 10 years in length.
Wow.
10 years.
10.
That would be unheard of in college football,
unheard of.
where coaching contracts typically range from 3 to 5 years.
Right. Right.
Wow, 10 years.
That's a big commitment
That's a huge commitment on both sides.
on both sides.
It suggests that UNC is willing to bet big on Belichick's ability to transform their program.
Yeah.
And it also indicates that Belichick is looking for long-term stability and a chance to build something truly lasting.
That's what it sounds like.
And let's not forget the financial aspect.
The money.
Another source, close to the negotiations,
Okay.
indicates that Belichick's salary could be in the range of $10 million per year.
Whoa.
This would make him the highest-paid coach in college football history, surpassing even Nick Saban at Alabama.
Surpassing Saban.
That's a staggering amount of money.
It is.
Shows how serious UNC is about attracting Belichick and building a championship-caliber program.
Yeah.
It also speaks to the increasing financial clout of college football,
Right.
which is becoming more and more like a professional league in many ways.
It really is.
So we have a potential 10-year contract,
Okay.
a salary that dwarfs all others,
Mm-hmm.
and a coach who's demanding unprecedented control over the program.
Wow.
It's safe to say this isn't your typical coaching hire.
No, it's not.
This is a seismic shift,
A seismic shift.
a power play
A power play.
that could redefine college football as we know it.
It really could.
And it's just the beginning.
Oh, wow.
Stay tuned as we dive deeper into the potential impact of this move, the challenges Belichick will face, and the opportunities that await him at UNC.
Can't wait. All right, so let's shift gears a bit and talk about the on-field implications of this potential move. One of the most intriguing aspects is the clash of styles we might see.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. We're talking about Belichick, known for his complex defensive schemes,
Right.
meticulous game plans,
Mm-hmm.
entering a world of high-scoring offenses,
Yeah.
fast-paced action.
Exactly. And this is where it gets really interesting for our listeners, especially if you are a fan of defensive football. I mean,
Yeah.
Belichick's defensive philosophy has been incredibly successful in the NFL.
Of course.
But how will it translate to the college game? Will he be able to implement those intricate strategies with college players who might not have the same level of experience as NFL veterans?
That's a great question, and it's one that's generating a lot of debate online.
I bet.
Some fans on Reddit are convinced that Belichick will turn UNC's defense into an impenetrable wall, shutting down even the most explosive offenses.
Oh, I could see that.
It's certainly possible, but we need to remember that college offenses have evolved significantly.
In what way?
Well, you've got the spread option,
Right.
tempo-based attacks,
Mm-hmm.
and the rise of dual-threat quarterbacks,
Right.
all things that present unique challenges for defenses.
So you're saying there's a chance we might actually see Belichick's defense struggle against some of these high-powered college offenses?
It's not out of the realm of possibility.
Wow.
Even the greatest coaches have their weaknesses, and adapting to the speed and creativity of modern college offenses will be a major test for Belichick.
This leads us to another important point highlighted in the sources.
Okay.
The quarterback situation.
Oh. Yeah,
Belichick is famous for his work with Tom Brady,
of
a
course.
classic pocket passer who thrived in his system.
Right.
But college football is increasingly dominated by dual-threat quarterbacks who can run as well as they can throw.
And that's not exactly Belichick's traditional style, is it?
Not really.
He's always preferred quarterbacks who can manage the game, make smart decisions, and execute the play calls precisely.
Right.
But what's fascinating here is that Belichick has also shown a willingness to adapt his approach to fit his personnel.
One of the sources actually quotes Belichick from a past interview where he says,
Oh, yeah.
"The game's about players. You find out what your players do best, then you try to put them in positions to do that." So even though he might have a preference for a certain type of quarterback, it seems like he's willing to adjust if necessary.
Exactly. And this is where UNC's current roster comes into play.
Okay.
Based on the sources, they have a young, promising dual-threat quarterback who showed flashes of brilliance last season.
Oh, interesting.
If Belichick sees potential in this player, it wouldn't be surprising to see him adapt his offensive scheme to take advantage of those skills.
Makes sense.
Speaking of players,
Yeah.
let's talk about recruiting.
Okay.
How do you think high school quarterbacks, especially the highly sought-after ones, will react to the possibility of playing for Belichick? He's not exactly known for his warm and fuzzy personality.
Right, right.
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Belichick's reputation is a double-edged sword.
I can see that.
On the one hand, he's a legend, a proven winner. The chance to learn from him could be a huge draw for some recruits.
For sure.
But on the other hand, his demanding style might be intimidating for some young players.
That makes sense.
This article from a recruiting analyst actually quotes several high school coaches who are divided on the issue.
Oh, really?
Some believe that Belichick's presence would instantly elevate UNC's recruiting profile, while others are worried that his reputation for being tough and demanding might scare away some top prospects.
So there are definitely two sides to that coin.
It's a valid concern,
Yeah.
and it's something Belichick would need to address if he wants to succeed at UNC.
Yeah.
He'd need to find a way to connect with this new generation of players who are used to a different kind of coaching style.
So maybe we'll see a softer side of Belichick emerge. The hoodie with a smile.
It's hard to imagine.
I know, right?
But hey, anything is possible.
Anything is possible.
One thing's for sure, though.
What's that?
The recruiting landscape at UNC would be dramatically altered with Belichick in charge.
And, that brings up a broader point about the changing landscape of college football. The
Yeah.
fact that a coach of Belichick's stature is even considering a move to college speaks volumes about how the game is evolving.
Yeah, it's almost like we're witnessing a power shift.
Okay.
It used to be that the NFL was the ultimate goal for any coach.
Right.
But now, college football is becoming more and more attractive,
Why is that?
especially with the rise of NIL deals, the transfer portal, and the increasing parity in the sport.
We're seeing more and more former NFL coaches make the jump to college.
We are.
And Belichick would be the biggest name yet.
By far.
It really raises the question, what does the future hold for both college and professional football as these lines continue to blur?
It's a fascinating question, and one that we'll continue to explore as this story unfolds.
Definitely.
But for now, let's bring it back to UNC and the potential challenges and opportunities that await Belichick if he takes this job.
Okay.
One of the sources, a former college coach who's now a respected analyst, points out that Belichick's success in the NFL doesn't guarantee success in college.
Right.
He'll be facing a completely different set of challenges,
Like what?
from recruiting to managing younger players
Mm-hmm.
to navigating the complexities of the college game.
So much different than the NFL.
It is, and this article actually dives into some of the specific obstacles Belichick might encounter.
Oh, interesting.
For example, the academic requirements in college football are much stricter than in the NFL.
Oh, right.
Belichick will need to make sure his players are eligible to play, which could require a different approach to practice schedules and off-field commitments.
And let's not forget the booster culture in college football.
All the boosters.
It's something that doesn't really exist in the NFL.
Yep.
Belichick will need to learn how to navigate the relationships with wealthy donors,
Right.
which can sometimes be a delicate balancing act.
It can be.
It's a whole new world for him.
It is.
And the sources paint a picture of a coach who's used to having complete control, who's not accustomed to answering to a lot of different stakeholders.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how he adapts to this new environment.
Very interesting.
And how about the media scrutiny?
Oh, yeah.
Belichick is notoriously tight-lipped with the press.
Very much so.
But college football is a much more media-driven environment.
It is.
He'll be expected to participate in press conferences, give interviews, and deal with constant speculation and analysis.
A lot more media interaction.
Yeah, a lot more.
That's a great point. And one source, a sports media expert,
Okay.
actually predicts that Belichick's arrival at UNC will create a media frenzy unlike anything we've seen before.
Really?
They say, get ready for the Belichick Bowl, folks. Every game will be a national event, every press conference will be dissected, and every move he makes will be scrutinized.
Wow, that sounds intense.
It does.
It seems like Belichick will need to make some adjustments to his approach if he wants to survive in this new media landscape.
Absolutely, and this ties back to something you mentioned earlier about the changing landscape of college football.
Right.
The lines between pro and college are blurring, not just in terms of coaching moves, but also in terms of media coverage and fan expectations.
It's a whole new ball game.
It is.
And it'll be fascinating to see how Belichick navigates these uncharted waters.
You will.
All right, so we've talked about the potential challenges Belichick might face,
Right.
but let's not forget about the opportunity.
The opportunity.
This is a chance for him to build a program from the ground up,
Yeah.
to leave his mark on a new generation of players, and to potentially create a legacy that rivals his accomplishments in the NFL.
He could build something really special.
And UNC, despite their recent struggles, has the potential to be a powerhouse.
They do. They do.
I mean, they're located in a talent-rich recruiting area.
Right.
They have a passionate fan base, and they're hungry for success.
Yeah.
If anyone can unlock that potential,
Yeah.
it's Bill Belichick.
It might be.
I agree.
Yeah.
And one of the sources actually highlights UNC's recent investments in their athletic facilities and infrastructure.
Oh, interesting.
They've been making a concerted effort to upgrade their program and create a more attractive destination for top recruits.
So the pieces are in place.
The pieces are in place for Belichick to build something special,
Yeah.
but it won't be easy.
Yeah.
He'll need to adapt to a new environment,
Right.
overcome the challenges we've discussed,
Yeah.
and find a way to connect with a new generation of players.
A lot of work ahead of him.
It's a tall order, but if anyone can pull it off, it's Bill Belichick.
It very well could be.
And for you, the listener, this situation presents a unique opportunity to witness a master at work.
Oh, yeah.
To see how one of the greatest coaches of all time tackles a new challenge and tries to reshape the landscape of college football.
Fascinating stuff.
And that brings us to the million-dollar question.
Okay.
Can Belichick actually win a national championship at UNC? We know he's done it in the NFL. But can he replicate that success in college?
That's what everyone wants to know.
For sure.
And while it's certainly possible,
Yeah,
we need to be realistic about the obstacles he'll face.
right.
The competition in college football is fierce.
Very fierce.
And there are already several established programs that are perennial contenders for the title.
Right. You've got Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State.
The big dogs.
Those programs are at the top of the food chain right now.
They are.
Can Belichick build UNC into a program that can compete with those giants?
It'll be a long and difficult journey, but as we've seen throughout his career, Belichick thrives on challenges.
He does.
He's at his best when the odds are stacked against him.
Right.
And he's proven time and time again that he can find a way to win, even when nobody expects him to.
So what can we expect from Belichick in his first season at UNC, assuming he does take the job?
Okay.
Should we expect an immediate turnaround, or will it take some time for him to implement his system and build a championship-caliber program?
That's a great question, and one that the sources offer some insights on.
Okay.
Several analysts believe that Belichick will need at least a few years to fully implement his vision at UNC.
Okay.
They point out that he'll need to rebuild the roster through recruiting, instill a new culture,
Right.
and adapt his coaching style to the college game.
So patience will be key for UNC fans.
Patience will be key.
But I have a feeling that even if the wins don't come immediately, Belichick's presence will create a buzz and a level of excitement that hasn't been seen in Chapel Hill for a long time.
Absolutely, and this is where the human element of this story comes into play.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just about X's and O's.
Right.
It's about the impact that Belichick will have on the players, the coaches, the fans,
Yeah.
and the entire UNC community.
Think about the young athletes who will have the opportunity to learn from one of the greatest coaches of all time.
Right.
The pressure they'll be under,
The pressure.
the expectations they'll have to live up to,
Right.
but also the potential rewards.
The rewards.
The chance to be a part of something special,
Yeah.
to help build a program that can compete for championships.
Absolutely.
It's a story that transcends the game itself.
It is.
It's about ambition.
Ambition.
Resilience.
And the pursuit of excellence.
A pursuit of excellence. And that's what makes it so compelling.
Compelling.
So unpredictable.
Unpredictable.
So utterly captivating.
Absolutely captivating. It really is. Thinking about it, it's fascinating to consider the ripple effect this potential move could have on the college football landscape as a whole.
Oh, yeah?
I mean, we've talked about the impact on UNC and the ACC.
Right.
But what about the national picture?
Yeah, what about it?
How would a powerhouse program like Alabama, for example,
Okay.
view Belichick's arrival in the college ranks?
That's a great question, and one that several of our sources actually touch upon.
Oh, interesting.
Remember, Alabama, under Nick Saban,
Right.
has been the gold standard in college football for the past decade.
Oh, absolutely.
They've won multiple national championships, consistently recruited the top talent in the country.
Yep.
So how would they view Belichick, a coach who's known for building dynasties and demanding excellence?
Right.
Would they see him as a threat?
A threat.
Someone who could potentially dethrone them?
Well, one source, a former Alabama assistant coach, actually suggests that Saban and Belichick have a mutual respect for each other. They've both achieved incredible success at their respective levels. And there's a sense that they appreciate each other's coaching philosophies.
But that doesn't mean it wouldn't be a fierce rivalry, right?
Oh, absolutely not.
Two legendary coaches.
Two legends.
Battling it out for supremacy on the college football stage. That's got to be exciting for everyone involved.
The sources actually point to a quote from a prominent college football analyst who says,
okay,
this would be like Ali versus Frazier.
Whoa.
But for college football coaches,
I like that.
it would be a clash of titans, a battle of wits. And a must-watch event for any fan of the sport.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
And think about the recruiting battles.
Oh, the recruiting.
Saban is known for his ability to land the top recruits year after year.
He is.
Could Belichick, with his reputation and his demanding style,
Right.
compete with Saban for those elite players?
It would definitely make things interesting.
Yeah.
One source, a national recruiting expert, suggests that Belichick's arrival could actually shift the balance of power in recruiting.
Wow, okay.
They argue that some players, particularly those who are drawn to Belichick's no-nonsense approach and his proven track record of developing players for the NFL, might choose UNC over traditional powerhouses like Alabama.
So you're saying that Belichick's presence could actually make UNC a more attractive destination for top recruits?
It's certainly possible.
Even over a program like Alabama?
Yeah, and that would be a major coup for UNC.
Of course.
A program that's been trying to break into the elite tier of college football for years.
This article from a sports sociologist actually dives into the psychology of recruiting.
Oh, wow.
And how a coach's reputation can influence a young player's decision.
Interesting.
They argue that for some athletes, the opportunity to learn from a legend like Belichick, to be challenged and pushed to their limits, might be more appealing than the promise of playing time or a more relaxed atmosphere at another program.
Yeah, it's an interesting perspective.
It is.
And it highlights the intangible factors that can influence recruiting.
For sure.
It's not just about facilities, location, or even playing time.
Right.
It's about the coach, the culture, and the opportunity to be part of something special.
And I think that's what makes this potential move so intriguing.
It is intriguing.
It's not just about wins and losses. It's about the potential for transformation. For a program like UNC to elevate itself to a new level of competitiveness and prestige.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
And it's about the broader impact on the sport itself. I mean, Belichick's arrival in college football could signal a shift in power, a blurring of the lines between the professional and amateur ranks, and a new era of competition and innovation.
So much potential change.
It really is. So what does this all mean for you, the listener?
Okay.
Well, first and foremost, it means that college football is about to get a whole lot more interesting.
For sure.
The stakes are higher.
Higher stakes.
The competition is fiercer.
Fiercer competition.
And the storylines are more compelling than ever before.
Absolutely.
Secondly, it means that you need to keep an eye on UNC.
Keep your eye on UNC.
Whether Belichick succeeds or fails, his presence will have a ripple effect throughout the sport.
No doubt about it.
And finally, it means that you need to be prepared for the unexpected.
The unexpected.
In this new era of college football, anything is possible.
Anything is possible. I'll leave you with one final thought-provoking question to consider. Given Belichick's history of adapting his coaching style to his players, how might his approach differ with college athletes compared to seasoned NFL professionals? Will his demanding, detail-oriented approach mesh with the faster pace and recruiting demands of college football?
Those are some great questions, and questions that we'll be exploring as this story continues to unfold.
It'll be fascinating to watch.
But one thing is certain.
Yeah.
The future of college football just got a whole lot more exciting.
Couldn't agree more, so stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Stay informed.
And enjoy the ride.
And that's a wrap on this deep dive into the potential move of Bill Belichick to UNC. We've analyzed the sources, explored the possibilities, and hopefully given you a deeper understanding of this fascinating and unpredictable situation. Until next time, keep learning, keep exploring, and never be afraid to dive deep.